All right, everybody. Welcome to a very special Easter weekend edition of The Stiff Truth. I'm Scott Casanova, and of course, my good friend, Mr. Bob West, is with me today. I'm pretty excited today, Bob. How you feeling?
I'm hanging in there. It's as good as can be expected. I was actually able to get prepared for Easter while I was out, so the kids have their stuff ready. So that makes me feel a lot better. How are you guys holding up?
Not too bad, man. I mean, things are going okay. I also went and made sure I got everything for Easter. We got a nice big fat ham. I think we're doing some Easter egg decorating right now, and good stuff like that. Some good stuff for dinner tomorrow. Pretty relaxing weekend. I think I'm kind of I don't know. I'm kind of feel a little bit different from the last couple episodes. I was a little scrambled, and I feel like I'm kind of getting in my groove now with this quarantine, man. What about you?
Yeah, I feel pretty solid about things. I didn't enjoy my last outing so much, but I got through it and got it done, and now I think I'm good for the next couple of weeks. So I say that, but I'll end up having to make a booze run, I'm sure. But
I was just gonna say that too. I was like, you say that now, but you're probably gonna need to make a booze run just like me pretty soon. But that's okay. I mean, we do drink heavily. We do um, host a show called The Stiff Truth that's revolved around having stiff cocktails. So yeah, it all makes sense. It all makes sense, my friend. But
Scott, we only do the show once a week.
not me.
We have dress rehearsals, and then we have walkthroughs.
we have brainstorm sessions, with dress rehearsals, walkthroughs, and then we literally just do a dry run of the show before we do it. I mean, this is a very dialed in process, folks.
Right, but it's just the stiff drink, and we don't even talk to each other.
We literally video conference each other in silence while we drink and stare at each other.
Honey,
It's very
take it easy. Leave me alone, woman. I'm working on the show. Go make segment.
It's
Just
out in a
kidding.
couple hours.
I'm too terrified of my wife to talk like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, things are looking a little bit more positive for me. But speaking of that, Bob, I know everybody's freaking out about the coronavirus, as they should be a little on I guess alert and on edge to a certain extent, especially if they're watching a lot of the news. But really recently, Bob, it looks like things are getting a little sunnier. There might be a light coming out at the end of the tunnel there. I don't know, Bob. I mean, what are your thoughts now just about how you're feeling about where we are now with the virus and say where we were like a week ago? I don't know, however you want to think about it, but I don't know. It's kind of changed.
Well, I think like the biggest concern right now for everyone is New York, just because they're
Sure.
they're peaking. I think the last couple of days they've had record deaths back to back, but you can't go off of the deaths because there's like a 2.5 week lag, right, from action to results with the coronavirus. So it's very hard to take things day by day. You always have to take things from what you were doing 2 weeks ago. So the interesting thing is they still are increasing in cases. However, for like 4 days straight, their rate of increase is going down, which means they are turning the curve. But that's the start of the 2 weeks, right? Is their rate of increase. That's just the people that are being diagnosed. So that means in 2 weeks, their death rate should then start going down as well. So hopefully, we'll see. And then the other positive sign is what's going on in California. Gavin Newsom's been very proactive about this whole thing the whole time. Lots of props to that governor because he had the balls to shut down San Francisco right away. Like, that's a ballsy move. There's like 7+ million people in San Francisco, and then 3 days later, shut down the rest of the state, right? But now they're at a point to where they're actually giving ventilators to other states because they've got a handle on their shit.
Believe it or not, so is New York. I was listening to Governor Cuomo speak the other day on one of his daily briefings, and beyond like the deaths and everything, what is going down, which is another positive thing, is the amount of hospitalizations needed. The discharge rate is actually the good thing that's going up. So people that are actually recovering, that's gone up. It's freed up more hospital beds, and they've now started to donate some of their ventilators that they got to places like Louisiana, Michigan, Illinois, other what we're going to just call them, the other, I guess, up and coming hotspots. And it sounds like that's a really cool, like, entertainment district, but that's, it's not a good thing.
It's so the opposite of that.
I know. It sounds like, ooh, Chicago's such a hotspot now. I better go check it out. Oh my God, I got the Rona.
Yeah, and they're talking about Pennsylvania now is starting to show signs of being a next hotspot too. So,
but again, New Jersey, again, same, some of the same numbers that they're getting in New York. Just less reported hospitalizations are going down. The influx of people recovering, and the same thing has been happening in Seattle in that area. In fact, I guess Oregon's done such a damn good job with social distancing that they've really flattened out their curve and aren't nearly as it. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they were nearly as bad or as Seattle or California, but they've done a great job. So that is definitely inspiring and just, it's nice instead of the constant doom and gloom. I swear, man, it was like a 2-day shift in the news last week where I watched it last Saturday and I thought I was going to die. And then Monday I was like, oh, maybe I might be okay. I don't know. Things are looking up.
Yeah, things are looking up. What concerns me is when I hear the rhetoric going around the country is because of these numbers. Hey, things are looking up. Let's get back to work.
Yeah, right away.
Fuck down,
right.
Buckaroo. There's a 3-week lag here. So if things are looking up now, then 3 weeks from now, we can probably actually evaluate a timetable. But that's it. It's a fucking 3-week lag, and it's annoying as shit. But we have to give it those 3 weeks, because if we jump it, I mean, we've got 500,000 cases in the U.S. right now, right? That's cool.
Something like that, yeah.
We have 350 million people, so this is not like, oh well, it's gone now, we can move on. No, if we don't proceed with caution, then it's just going to flare up, and it can get worse than it's ever been. And we shut our economy down for 6 weeks so far, whatever, for nothing, and that would be ridiculous.
I got to tell you, flare-ups are probably one of the worst things that I get. I'll tell you that right now. So I understand that. I definitely want to minimize my flare-ups. So, but oh shit, you were talking about the virus. I kind of got lost there for a minute. I'm sorry about that. Please proceed, sir.
Well, the bottom line is things are looking up. Things are definitely showing signs of getting better. We will have to wait the 3 weeks to really see if the preliminary numbers are going to match the actual numbers, and then we can proceed from there. But on the positive note, I don't think I've worn pants in like 3 weeks.
Isn't that freeing? That's nice, isn't it? There's a nice just breeze and just ultimate freedom, I think. Have you enjoyed it?
A little benefit of that. One thing Corona has done, and working from home, it prevents from under.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Very much so. So
keeps your balls at room temp, which is nice.
Yeah, and I don't ever go anywhere anymore, so I want to have that conversation with my insurance company, because I'm like set to renew it here in a week, and be like, hey, that 80, 90 miles a day I was doing, that's down to like 80, 90 miles a year right now. So if you could knock my shit off like 900%, that would be great.
This is probably one of the it's probably one of the most painful things right now is to watch gas prices plummet so low and not need to buy fucking gas. Isn't that a nasty ironic twist right there? It's just horrible.
Microeconomics, right? Supply and demand. We kind of
nobody's buying the shit.
Yeah, in fact, they just cut supply and started implementing layoffs because I have family in the business, and so naturally, every time gas goes down, you start worrying about those guys because I'd rather, as shitty as it is I'd rather subsidize giant billion-dollar profiteering oil companies just so that my family members can maintain their jobs and I could give that 30 cents extra a gallon. I'd rather have that than save the 30 cents a gallon and know that people are going to lose their jobs. But supply and demand, they'll cut supply, increase demand, and they'll lay off people because they don't need them now because the supply's gone down.
Isn't that great?
Fucking supply side economics.
Well, you know what else is nice though about not, besides not wearing pants at the house. I mean, I'm having casual cocktails probably at least around 3-4 in the afternoon as I'm kind of closing things up for the workday, which is great. I mean, there's no more commuting, right? So that can just start whenever. I don't know about you. I know that you got to be a little bit more dialed in when you're actually working, but you do get off kind of early in the day, anyways, right? You start pretty damn early, if I remember, like the butt crack of dawn.
Yeah, I do like a 6 to 3 kind of a shift.
Okay.
So, uh, by the time 3 comes around, I'm asking the question, um, we're not driving anywhere, right?
We're
As I'm like already pouring the drink, like we're good, right? We're
I don't
good.
need to do anything, do I? Oh, because I just took a couple shots. I'm done.
Or my son comes in. Hey, Dad, can I ask you a question? Hold on, son.
Hold on.
Ask away,
Yeah.
buddy. Ask away.
Let me get prepped for your questions real quick. Well, I mean, and it is. I guess I'm just kind of falling into the groove of being in my little cave. You know what I mean? It's actually not that bad. I really don't feel the need to talk to anybody. I know people are like so stir crazy and they want to go out to the bars. Dude, I was done going out to the bars 10 years ago. I don't give a shit about that stuff, man. You know what I mean? So it would be nice to
Who
like,
needs a $10 drink when that gets you like a fifth? Right?
you know what I mean? Come on, seriously. Go to Costco with the money that you get 2 or 3 beers with, and you can come home with a handle. You know, I mean, it's great. What are you doing? So yeah, I mean, that's not a big deal. I'm spending lots and lots of time with my family, lots of time with my daughter, lots of time with my animals, my dogs and my cats, and that's all good stuff, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm thankful for our cave, like you said. It's a good way to put it. So I feel very fortunate that I'm in the situation that I'm in. I know, and I even mentioned to my wife once every day or two about how fortunate we are, how much better off we have it than a lot of people do right now. So
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate that. I definitely am grateful for my family and my wife and our ability to coexist in a closed off cave indefinitely is pretty amazing. So,
I gotta highlight that to 100% and just kind of piggyback off of it because I gotta echo the same thing, man. It's been really really nice, and again very grateful and very unusual for a lot of people right now. Not only to be able to have jobs and still be able to bring in some money during this time because we know that's not the case with a lot of people, but also to have a wife and a daughter that just keep me going all day, man. Not only is my wife making me breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and homeschooling my daughter, which is just a full-time job in itself. But again, like you said, actually not trying to kill each other either quite yet. So that's always nice to know that you actually get along together when you're forced to be in the same room for a long time.
well, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. We've both been with our significant others for about a decade, a little over. And I think that we had a pretty good idea that was the case, but you never really know until shit hits the fan and you're quarantined together. That's how you know when the love is real.
And here we are, right? This was the test, and we passed it.
Yeah, and
That's funny.
I have read articles here in Rio Rancho that overall police calls, 911 calls have gone down, but definite domestic violence calls have gone up as part of that little metric. But so I'm glad that I'm not on that part of the spectrum. So yes, definitely appreciate my family and my situation that I'm in, and couldn't ask for a better wife or kids for that matter. But
There we go. Love that. Love that, Bob. Well, I'll tell you what, man. You mentioned something earlier that you didn't really dive into, and it sounded like it was something that was a little bit upsetting, maybe a little bit nerve-wracking. But the last time you went out to, where did you go? Did you have to go to Costco or?
man, I went fucking everywhere. It was annoying. So I knew I probably had to go to 3 places at least, right? So I had to go to Costco, I had to go to Sam's, and then I had to go to Walmart.
Which is so interesting to me that you go to Costco and Sam's. I mean, essentially, what do we get differently at Sam's?
Variety's the spice of life, baby.
He's like, well, you
So-
see, they don't have Coca-Cola over at Costco, so I get my Coca-Cola at Sam's and my Pepsi over at Costco.
There's something to that.
I know, I know.
So Sam's actually caters to the small business. So you get things
Oh
that
my
are
God, here we
packaged.
go. Are you?
You get things that are packaged for resale at Sam's. Like for instance, you can go get a box of ho-hos or whatever, but it comes in like that container that you open the top to and leave for display, right? But they have for that reason, they have a lot of other individually wrapped, cookies, snacks, crackers, chips, all that, which are perfect for children. Right,
Okay.
so there's things family wise that make sense for me to go to Sam's for,
All right.
and it's just kind of thing. Like Jess has a boner for Costco water. I don't know, it's her favorite water, so I have to get water from Costco. She
Okay.
doesn't like the Sam's water or whatever, to each their own. I'm not going to fight that fight, so I'll
You got to
get
pick
her
your
water
battles,
from
man.
Costco. I
Absolutely.
enjoy meat from Costco more than I do
Ooh,
from Sam's. So
interesting.
so there's a few things that I like to get from Costco that I can't get from Sam's, but then there's a few things that I still have to get from Sam's that I can't get at Costco. And I only know that because I've had those memberships now for a few years, so I can really pin down who has what and what I need to get at each store. Now,
Bob, you are a dialed-in shopper. Let me tell you that right now. It's all I'm going to say. You've got this down like a science, which I really love. But I didn't mean to get you so worked up about that. I don't know if you noticed your tone and everything really go through the roof when I insulted you for going to Sam's. I apologize. I am also a fan of Mr. Sam Walt. What is Sam Walton? What is the guy's name? Walmart guy. I don't even know.
I think that guy's dead. I think it's
Yeah.
just his dead.
It's like 20 of his grandchildren that run the place. But getting back to it, tell me about the trip itself. This is
Well,
what kind of seems like it was really something I needed to have you unpack a little bit more.
So because I knew I'd have to go to 2 to 3 stores, I brought 3 pairs of gloves. Right, so
Wow,
so
all
I
right.
have that. Right, so I have my gloves. I got my mask, which if any of you pay attention to Twitter, or Facebook, you've seen one of my masks that I wear. So I had my mask, which the masks are incredibly annoying. Have you had to wear one yet? Yes.
Yeah.
So it's hot. It's uncomfortable. Claustrophobia sets in. You start sweating in there. It's just
Can't
terrible.
breathe that well. You can't really talk to people without sounding like Bane. You know what I mean?
All
So
right. It's like, could I get cash back?
they're a what?
So I did that. I did my Costco or whatever, and then I go to the Sam's, and then first thing when I grab the cart, like I'm putting on my second glove and I tear it, and I'm like, well, man, that's about right. But luckily, I had my little vial of homemade sanitizer and everything, so I could kind of do that. But
His Breaking Bad sanitizer.
yes. So I did my Sam's run or whatever, and then at that point you have a Costco and Sam's. I have an SUV, and that thing was like full to the ceiling at that point. So
yeah, I bet.
So then I have to, but at this point I still have not found any toiletries. Like no toilet paper, no anything.
That's interesting. I was just going to ask you that too. I was like, well, did you have like 80 rolls of toilet paper? Did you at least find one at one of the stores? Kind of like, it's a numbers game at a certain point. Somebody's got to have toilet paper, but no, huh?
So yeah, I hadn't found any, and now I'm starting to get concerned. Because before all of this happened, I had a big Costco 32 pack or whatever, and we're like, we're good. And then like 6 weeks go by, and I'm looking up at it, and I'm on like my last like 9 rolls or whatever, and I'm like, we're still good, but we're much less good.
It's funny that you say that, man, because I was laughing at the Costco hoarders for the toilet paper initially, and there was an opportunity for me to really stock up like the day before it got really crazy, and I was just laughing at people. I was like, this is so stupid, and now it's not very funny. It's not funny at all anymore about my supply of toilet paper. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's a hot topic.
It
I'll
really
tell you
is.
that.
Jesus Christ.
So I go to Walmart, really hoping that I'm going to find some toilet paper because I only had 3 pairs of gloves. I was only
You're
prepared for
really
3 stores.
hoping.
I can't at that point. I mean, I really can. It's America, I guess. So I can do whatever I want. But I didn't want to start going and scavenging and going store to store trying to look for toilet paper at that point. So I went down the toilet paper aisle at Walmart, and it was like a beam of sunlight shining from the rafters onto this floor-to-ceiling stash of Charmin Ultra.
Oh, God.
It was incredible. I couldn't believe
Wow.
it. So I get my 18 rolls of Charmin, which really stocks me
Wow.
back up to where I was. And then I go, and they had paper towels. So I
What?
re-upped my paper towels. Yeah, it was pretty legit. So I was able
I
to get
feel
all
like
that
this
done.
Walmart is like a mirage or something like that. It doesn't sound like it's real.
Like, I'd love to get some and ship it to you, but I just don't have faith that it'll make it to you.
You're like, oh, dude. No, it's more like I would love to give you some, but I just can't.
Like, I
I
can go
need my
get you some and ship it, but I better put it in, like, boxes so no one knows what's inside it.
Seriously. Somebody tosses that package. That feels like a double roll of Charmin. Pocket that shit, homie.
For real. Oops, that one never made it. Lost in the mail.
This might help get my brother-in-law out of jail. This is bail money.
Hey, bail bonds guy. Got a few rolls of toilet paper here.
Yeah, look, I don't got any cash, but looking around, sliding a couple Charmin rolls. Oh, okay, now we're talking.
You open up your trench coat. What do you got?
Hand
I
sanitizer.
got some TP.
Good.
Can I buy that? Yeah. So that character is actually called Lefty the Pusher on Sesame Street. So we grew up in a time where it was accepted socially to acknowledge that there was going to be a drug dealer that approached you at some time, but he
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have a vowel in his trench coat for you to buy.
Yeah, definitely not. You need one. You need to buy a vowel.
Yeah, so sometimes he sells E's, sometimes he sells O's. It's whatever the market's trending at the time. But thank you,
gotcha.
Lefty the Pusher, for teaching me street smarts at such an early age.
Yeah, it was good. Good.
So yeah, I did finally get home. So there's always the workup before the trip, right? The
don't like
anxiety is like, I don't
like
want to
it.
go, but I need to go before people start getting off work.
What if I get the Rona?
Right? And
That's
so
in the
you
back
go,
of your head.
You go and you do that shit, right? And then you're coming home, and as much precautions as you've taken, you're now unpacking all your shit, and you just feel like you have to assume that there's virus on everything you have.
You do.
And so you put it all there, and you're like, nobody touch that shit till tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? And then you go and you wash your hands, and Jess even had me like strip down in the garage and put my shit in the laundry machine and just like go right up and take a shower as soon as everything was unpacked.
I did that actually today because I went to go get this morning pretty early, just at the regular grocery store, like the ham and a few things, just stocking up on some stuff I don't usually get at Costco, raspberries, bananas, stuff like that. But immediately when I came home, it was door, shoes off, straight to the shower, just strip down, throw all my stuff down in the laundry room, right to the shower, got out, changed my clothes. I washed my hands before I got in the shower, though. I did that with antibacterial soap. And I lathered.
It's all about the lather, homie.
Yeah. Well, I already told you in our last show that I'm a lather champ. I was actually the lather champ of 2006, national champ actually. But I digress. We're not going to talk about that. But same kind of freaky thing. And you still feel, right? What did I miss? I missed something. Something had virus on it.
Oh, absolutely. And as a
You start
father,
freaking out.
you start panicking about, did I just give it to my children? What if in 2 weeks one of my children's sick? You know what I mean? Then I know that it was from this Costco trip. You know what I mean? It's because I didn't take enough precautions, or it is that anxiety. Like that's what I've been telling Jess. After the coronavirus calms down, we're all gonna have to be on Xanax for anxiety disorders.
Yeah, we're some
PTSD.
post-traumatic stress. Yeah, it's going on right now. It's crazy, but yeah, no, same thing, man. And I actually curse and get a little bit aggravated before I actually have to go. I'm like, all right, here I go. Oh, just like before
Like curse words, or like with a fucking chicken and a goat and some sticks. You're like throwing curses.
No, nothing like that. More like curse. More like curse words. I don't
Okay.
I don't get that crazy. But I just start getting really psyched out. Like you got to psych yourself out. It's not like something you want to jump into. You don't
You
want to
start
go
hitting yourself in the face. Let's fucking do it. No, not that far.
Almost mentally. That's what's happening. Is you really got to push yourself. And then when I'm driving to the store, I need yourself like, oh, this fucking sucks. It's like you're not looking forward to it at all because it's just you do have that weird assumption virus is on everything.
Yeah, and the whole time you're like so consumed by it that you can't even enjoy the fact that you're like, there's like no fucking traffic out. This is a nice trip to the store.
And like, dude, everybody gets out of your way. There's very little people in aisles. There's almost nobody at the checkout because you got to stand 6 feet away from the other person. And no, it's if you take a step back, you can really enjoy it. Besides the crazy pandemonium about the virus,
So Jess had a good idea the other day. She actually
Huh?
pulled it up and showed me the outfit. It was a cosplay outfit with like a leather mask with goggles, like steampunk style, but with the beak from like the plague doctors.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
get one of those and like the big Doctor. Damn, the new Stephen King movie. I forget what that is. Doctor
Doctor
Sleep.
Sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, that chick wears that hat. Get one of those and like a trench coat, beak mask, and watch the aisles just part for you. Everyone gets out of your way.
What the holy shit?
These crazy leather gloves that are for like calf birthing that come up to your fucking bicep.
You know, when you just said that, it reminded me of fucking City Slickers. Do you remember that scene where he burrs the calf?
When he loses the watch.
He loses like his Rolex watch inside the cow. That's such a great scene. Such a great scene. Ah, sorry about that. Go ahead.
So yeah, have a little bit of fun with it and watch people like look at you like in a very terrified way.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, too, I mean, people in general at the Costco's and stuff like that. I mean, they're already kind of pretentious people. Let's face it, on a whole, they're judging already before all this. You noticed it a little bit before we were asked nicely by the government to wear masks if you want to. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Remember when you masked up before this was getting?
And
really
I was like
crazy?
105 in a store of like 200 people.
Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about. The stereotypical kind of Costco people, man. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it absolutely happens. You'll be in the crosswalk going into the store, and some old entitled white lady's driving in her Navigator and just fucking zooms in like a foot in front of you. You're like, bitch, you almost ran me the fuck over.
And then looks at you like it's your fucking fault.
Like I'm the asshole standing in the middle of the crosswalk. Right. How dare I stand where you're supposed to cross traffic legally?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
terrible of me. I should have been looking out for your fucking Escalade.
Well,
My bad.
and that's the other thing too. When I picture myself like the stereotypical Costco guy, it's somebody in their 40s, 50s, family man, just came in a nice minivan, maybe too, but a nice brand new one, top of the line minivan, maybe even a BMW minivan.
It was a Pacifica.
They got the sticker on the back of the car of the family all holding hands. You know what I'm talking about? Those kind of guys.
Yeah, for sure.
My
Even has
son,
like two of the dog and the cat.
yeah, my son's an honor student bumper sticker. I swear to God, he's not a retard. You know, that kind of stuff. And then he's usually wearing, if it's warm out, some khaki shorts, maybe even a fanny pack, right? Huh?
Some like TiVos with socks. That guy. That's the guy.
Yes, tube socks too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We all know that guy. He's got on the shades that clip on to your glasses because he didn't want to spend the extra money to get transitions.
But
guy, that's the guy.
the clip-ons are Ray-Ban branded, so don't worry about that. He still didn't skimp out on it.
Oh, of course.
You
Of
know,
course.
you know
Only
what I
the
mean.
best. Only the best for Costco Dad.
Yeah, that guy we just kind of threw that picture out there, that image. That guy's been shopping at Costco for like 20 years, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, oh yeah, he still has
He's
the
the
original
OG.
Price Club card framed on his wall. You know what's funny? There's
Fucking
not as
noobs.
much of that at Sam's. I'm just saying. Now, on the other side of it, Costco employees are fucking much nicer, and like you can tell like their jobs more. They must
yeah.
pay them more than Sam's, because Sam's employers are like, "Hey, can I help you with something? You're kind of inconveniencing me, I guess." Can I find this? Yeah, it's in the fucking store behind you. Go look for it.
Well, you know what it kind of is. I kind of equate that to like Sam's and Walmart employees are more like the United States Postal Service, to whereas Costco workers are more like FedEx and UPS. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, that's probably a decent way to create that analogy. Yeah,
You
I
like
get
it.
that. I do like it.
Good. I'm glad you like it, bro. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's just I've been noticed with the virus scare too in Costco now. Everybody is like, we were talking about, I think on the last show, we were making kind of jokes about, how like COVID styling, like masking up and wearing gloves could, eventually lap over into like designer shit. I'm already kind of seeing that shit here in Denver. I'm like, where did he get that fucking mask? Is that handmade? That's really nice. It's like, dude, it's kind of interesting. I've seen some ladies with like blouses and stuff with scarves that kind of were all made COVID style, and it looks like very designer. It's very nice. They're starting almost to do the I'm masked up better than you because I am better than you. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it absolutely is. In fact, 3 or 4 weeks ago, when I'm going to Costco and I'm wearing my mask, people look at me like I'm a fucking clown, like I'm an asshole.
Well,
right?
I mean,
now they still look at me. They still look at me, but now I get the sense that they're like checking out my gear more than they're like making fun of me or like thinking I'm an idiot. They're like, where did you get that mask?
Is that N95? You're all P95, actually. Oh, very nice, very nice.
N95. It's in 99, motherfucker. It's
You're all, is that black carbon there? I was like, yeah, it's nice stuff, isn't it? Yeah, so it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the mask from the celebrity that bumps out with a Louis Vuitton emblazoned mask. I can't wait till that level of out of touchness hits, because you know someone's going to be that guy. Someone is.
Sure. Well, you know what? It's strike when the iron's hot. Rappers out there, isn't it time to come out with your own line of mask and your own line of PPEs right now? I think it's time.
He's talking about you, Diddy.
Yeah, you Diddy, or who else?
You're like Diddy.
Does he? What is he? What is he? He's got like an alcohol. He's got a cologne now, right? He's got a few things going on there, right?
Yeah, it definitely has a lot. Now, Dr. Dre is going to come up with it and then sell it to someone for like $600 billion or something.
God, that was the smartest thing he did, is selling Beats, dude. So he sold it to Apple, right?
I don't remember who owns Beats. Someone like that, yeah.
Yeah, but he really cashed in. Like, he wasn't already rich enough. But anyways, hey, have you seen, outside of all this stuff going on, there has been finally a little bit of news about the primaries, about the elections, about the candidates. Did you hear?
About anything in general other than COVID. That's always nice to see.
I know. It's pretty
swear
exciting.
that people still are like doing things.
So, new update: Bernie is out. He is down for the count, and he's not getting up. Bob, what are your feelings?
Well, I think he's going to be talking about social healthcare. Sorry, I had to really grab that word. Healthcare really seemed to escape me. No, it's about time. I mean, we talked about it. I think it was the last show that the Democratic voters had spoken. And the climate had changed a lot since 2016 in the Democratic Party. In the Democratic Party, they're willing to give this guy a chance. Of course, he was also running against the fucking she-dragon of Hillary Clinton that might have also led a lot of voters to Bernie, kind of like it led a lot of voters to Trump.
I think she was more harm than good. And
I think so, too. Right. And,
yeah, absolutely.
And if I remember right, Bernie actually had the majority of the party, and the party snaked him after the primaries were all over, and basically just kind of gave her the nomination through manipulating super delegates and shit, right?
Oh yeah.
But the voters had spoken at that point, and the voters were probably right. In 2016, I have a feeling that Bernie Sanders would have won that election. In 2020, there's a lot different opinion. You know, the whole climate of everything has changed at that point, and the momentum is just no longer there. I mean, he still has, a lot of people, and enough to where, and smartly when he said that he's done, that he is going to, support Biden, right, and any way that he can, but he's still going to push his agenda. But he's trying to guide that 30% of the Democratic Party. He's trying to guide those votes to Biden because. Sure. Winning the presidency to Bernie Sanders, in his view, is much more important than fighting to win the primary, right?
You see, and that's where I kind of think that Bernie. I hate to say this, man, but I think he was set up to lose right out of the gate this go around, just simply because it just kind of reminded me of what you just said. He at the end of the day, he's still being a party man for the Democratic Party. Yep. I'm not even going to sit here and say he's a fucking Democrat. I'm going to say he's not a Democrat. I'm going to say he's a socialist. Right? Maybe socialist, whatever.
He's an independent. He's an independent of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, and you can throw whatever in there, democratic socialism or whatever, but he's not part of the Democratic Party, and he definitely does not have the same views or same policies as Biden or Buttigieg or any of those guys, right? Hillary Clinton. But what he always did is he took the high road too many times, and in politics, I honestly think that hurt him, bro. He did not go after and attack Joe Biden and go after his weaknesses that much. He just kept telling his grand mission, right? And all these great things that everybody wanted to hear: free this, free that, forgiveness on student loans, all this great stuff that all the young people definitely love to hear, right? But he would never go on attack with other people. And kind of like what you said, he kind of rolled over and started supporting, whoever's going to win, which is fine. But I kind of feel if he fought a little bit harder for the primaries and he got a little bit more ruthless, and I know that's maybe not in him, right? Maybe it's not built within him to act like that. I've never seen it from him, so that kind of gives me that kind of indication. But I think if he was more cutthroat and dirty, let's just face it, more of a dirty politician, he probably could have won the nomination.
Right, but I'm personally, I'm glad it's refreshing to see someone actually have character and integrity and stick to their guns and something, and not like stoop to that level, like most politicians do.
Yeah.
That's nice to see. I also think that could do more harm than good, creating that divisiveness and mudslinging ad campaigns. Because then there's that whole, well, those campaigns are seen by both parties. They're seen by the public, so that could also carry on into the election too. So it's a really tricky line when they're trying to battle, really for that presidential spot. That's the party as a whole is trying to win.
Well, and here's my thing though: is they're going to do it to him. They did it to him. They attacked the fuck out of him and
Both times.
like attack, smear, just change things up to make sure he can't win. Change rules, like right before things when he starts to gain more momentum, like they did the DNC this year. So you gotta fight back dirty to a certain extent if you're going to be able to actually be a viable candidate. That's my thing, right? If you want to be a good-hearted man and you want to do good, go do social work. Go to the priesthood, man. If you want to be a politician, you have to step into the arena. You cannot be a stand-up guy 100% and be a politician. You can't do it all the time, or you're never going to win.
So how about this? Had Elizabeth Warren quit before Super Tuesday, it'd be Biden dropping out today.
And that's the thing too, man. If you rewind this a little bit here and you pull Biden out of the mix, right, and then you pull Warren out of the mix, and it's like Buttigieg versus Sanders. Sanders is going to win that, I think.
Well, yeah, I think even Biden. If it were Biden and Sanders, but Elizabeth Warren, because she got about 13% of the vote,
just enough to fuck him up, just enough.
Well, he lost by about 10% every time.
Yeah.
To Biden in all those states. He would have won all those states. He would have won most states during Super Tuesday, which would have put him so far ahead that almost everyone would have dropped out that was still in the race anyway.
And see, that really goes to show you, dude, like even though they're trying so hard to get the presidency back, right, the Democratic Party, look how sloppy things are, dude. Like they could have thought this out, got cohesive together and said, look, hey, you guys got the same fucking platform. You're going to cannibalize yourself, meaning Warren and Sanders, right?
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's like you guys are literally going to cannibalize yourself, and you're taking votes away from the established people that we want to win anyways. But at the same time, there was no collaboration between Sanders and Warren. They were at each other's necks. Remember, like Warren even like approached him after during one of the debates on
started calling him a liar and all that.
Yeah, started calling him a liar and like a sexist and this and that and what have you. And he's like, do you really want to do this here? Like, what the fuck are we doing? It's like, I can't even believe this. They were so sloppy, but you're right. Like them not communicating or collaborating at all fucked both of them. And they were pushing the same fucking message. The only thing is he wanted to be president because he's been a lifetime politician, and she wanted to be the first female president. Who
ran the GOP in 2016? I want to say it was Reince Priebus. Is that right?
I don't know, man. I'd have to fact check that one. But
regardless of who ran it, the direction of the GOP party in 2016 was much more iron-fisted than the Democratic Party in 2016 or 2020 so far, meaning that there was definite rule and direction going on. Early on in the primaries, it was, all right, Teddy, you're the second guy. You need to drop out. It's going to be Trump, and that's going to be that. and he didn't even fight it.
Were you saying
Everyone,
RNC or DNC?
the RNC
Okay.
in 2016. So, that
yeah, I think you're right.
look at me go. Every now and then I know a thing or two.
Yeah. Who did you say again?
Reince Priebus.
Yeah, you're right.
Look at me. So
Look at you.
I know, right? So
Pretty impressive, Bob.
So that's the same thing that's happened. So I mean, in both cases, I think it was Tom Perez, right? Or did Tom Perez might have taken over after 2016, but either way, he doesn't have control of that party the way that the Republicans have control of theirs, coming from the top of that party.
There's just more cohesiveness. I mean, at the end of the day, that's why they're in power. That's why they, right now, anyways, that's why they have the majority of the Senate and the presidency. And, when the Democratic Party can get their shit together and actually formulate a good plan that doesn't cannibalize itself halfway there, maybe we'll see, another Democratic president. Yeah. I don't know.
I've been seeing the Republican Party dominate the political science field for at least a decade, at least. Yeah. And that is down at the state level. Redistricting and rezoning voting zones to give them the advantage to mix in their rural votes to their urban votes. I think I saw one. I think it was Austin, where the districting around Austin, it's like this giant circle. It all comes from Austin, and they slice it off like this giant pie chart, so that all of those rural votes count along to offset those Democratic votes in Austin, because Texas is like that, and Austin's a little Democratic hub, but then it's all red everywhere else, right? So they got small. And that type of redistricting there and focusing on the states has given them the edge nationally, state by state by state. And now it's really hard to go against that, because now you have to try to win back states and then push it through a conservative judgeship that, Trump and Bush were working on really hard the two Republican presidents about nominating conservative judges in these areas where they could vote on districting like that. So, again, the political sciencing is definitely in the Republicans' favor the last 10 years.
Yeah. 100%, man. And, pushing it into a conservative is a hard job. You know what I mean? So that's what I got out of that. You know what I mean? You like how I focus on one thing and then I kind of just, I don't even know if I was listening after that. I was like, pushing it into a conservative.
I bet you had no idea about talking about Bernie dropping out was going to lead to political science measures and redistricting in state representatives.
I never know what to expect with you, Bob, and that's what I love. That's what I love. You are just a like I said before, very layered person. There's a lot of different layers there, and I don't know which one to expect, and I like that. But no, the other thing that I wanted to mention too, which I thought was really, really funny about the news of Bernie dropping out, is the instant reactions that you saw from a couple different things. One, I'm sure you saw it, right? Trump already apparently had made all his anti-Biden campaign ads.
Oh yeah, they were ready to go.
He had them he's like, easy boys, hold it. As soon as
he's like the dude in Braveheart. He's telling them to hold. Hold.
Yeah, letting him get a lot closer. Bam! Okay, yeah, that was one thing that was really funny. The other thing that wasn't too surprising to me, I mean, let's face it, man, when you have somebody that's literally saying, I really want to tax the shit out of everybody a lot more except for the very poor people, people usually that play the stock market aren't in that category that they're going to benefit from Bernie's plans. So it was also pretty funny that the stock market, I think, went up 400 points as soon as he announced that too. So just craziness right there.
Yeah, it was like one of the biggest rises in 50 years or something.
Since 1972, believe it or not.
And of course, I'm sure Trump managed to take the credit for that because...
Well, dude, it was definitely Trump. I think just his last press conference about the coronavirus just made the stock market jump up 400 points. Has nothing to do with Bernie. He's got the same... He's got the same mindset as Joe Biden. This should be pretty fucking interesting, actually. Both of these guys have accomplished everything. No, wait. Joe's accomplished everything, but Trump is the best at everything. So this should be very interesting.
That's true. Those the egos. How do those ego bubbles mesh when they start debating?
Well, it's going to be pretty funny, man, because It is like we were kind of arguing, I believe, the other night. If you recall that you're about 8 9 shots in, I believe.
I recall it. I recall
Okay,
it.
okay. We won't get into it too much. I think that might be for another show. But it's going to be very interesting. This is going to be really the battle of incoherent, narcissistic politicians that are both losing it on different ways, right? Like they're losing it in different ways. Trump has gone like kind of off the deep end, but I still think he's a little bit more sound of mind, or at least he thinks he is sound of mind, and he's probably just delusional. And then you got Biden, who probably just needs to go sit down and have a bowl of soup somewhere in a nursing home. I mean, I don't know. It's almost like he's losing it a little bit. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, we have the war of less. I think we found ourselves again.
God, we're so good at voting. I'll tell you what, my friend.
Yeah, we found ourselves again with an opportunity here in America to vote for the least worst.
Yeah,
so you've got
again.
Trump, who once the script ends, he cannot control himself when someone asks a question. You know, I saw a post the other day about, this is Trump's most vicious moments. And it's like, vicious? So when a reporter asks you a question that you should be able to answer as the commander-in-chief of the United States, and you don't know the answer, so instead you go and start attacking the reporter like, well, that's a bad question. Well,
that's a stupid question. I'm not going to answer that question. You're a third-rate reporter.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
That's ridiculous. You know,
Yeah.
that's not a attempt at being savage. That's him being.
I don't know why I sounded like Ted Kennedy there.
I don't either. You totally went like Trump Kennedy there.
I went Trump Kennedy all of a sudden.
But that's what I'm saying. When it's not scripted, though, he doesn't have the answer. He'll just start attacking like it's a damn 8-year-olds arguing in the playground. Like,
well, you're a big fat cow.
Well, my dad can beat up your dad. So I win this argument. You know, it's just ridiculous and asinine when he starts going off script like that. And then Joe, when he starts going off script, it's the other way around. You start wondering, like,
does he know what he's doing?
Yeah. Does he know what that question was?
Yeah. Is he literally is he trying to recall certain sentence fragments like randomly? Today, you know what I mean? Come on. It's like, you're like, what's that? Like, that clip I showed you, though, of him like answering those questions right on his little virtual town hall. What was that? Like, it wasn't even making sense. It was like random. He's like the epidemic from the 16 to this, but we can't do that. We've got to boost the healthcare, or it's like you're just like, what? It's just like random like things you say in campaign rallies that he can recall over the past 49 years of being a politician.
Yeah, and then so on both sides, you're not going to get your answer. Right, so
you're going to get an interesting one and probably entertaining, but yeah, it's not gonna be a clear cut. Here's a straight answer to that question.
Yeah, I just don't understand how we keep ending up in the position of voting for the least worst, for the one of the most powerful people in the free world. I don't understand that. So I don't know. Anyway, after that, I need a drink.
Yeah, well, I hear you, man. I think it's about time. I think we're about ready.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm really excited for the Stiff Truth today too.
Oh,
really excited.
Boy, so am I.
This one is going to be, and I know we say that ad nauseum, and it's getting old, but this one's really good. Another fun one. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
I will say this. It has nothing to do about politics.
Yes, and that's what I mean about another fun one. A little breath of fresh air. It has nothing to do about politics
or corona
or coronavirus. Yeah, so that's why I think it's going to be super fun, man.
A little bit of mental escape today. So it should be very easy to get our stiff drink today. So let's go. Let's go handle that, and we'll be back right after the break.
All right, see ya. I gotta love. I gotta love these mics, bro. Got some great audio there.
Oh, good. When I went to go pee,
Yes.
I really had to go, man.
Hey, sometimes you gotta go, man. But we're back. We're back. What do
We
you got
are.
going on over there, baby?
Well, right now I'm pouring myself a Diet Dr. Pepper, which is not very stiff. But that's just how I'm going to do it.
Okay.
And,
So, Bob,
yeah.
you want to tell everybody why you're pouring something that's not very stiff during the part of the show where we take our Whoa! What's that?
So I'm pouring myself a shot of Irish whiskey.
Ooh, very nice, Bob. Doing shots.
It
I
doesn't
like
get
that.
much stiffer than that.
No. And I think it matches really well with our stiff truth topic today too. That's just me. That's just
Me too.
It's
very, very manly. Not
And
that the
truth.
lady stiffies out there can't hold their own with some whiskey.
We know the stiffies can. The she stiffies out there, right?
Yeah, I would never assume that a lady stiffy can't hang with some shots of whiskey. So
You know what I got over here, Bob?
Well,
If you are interested in knowing what I'm drinking, I could probably tell you. You want to know?
You've got me. I'm curious. I want to know.
I, sir, am doing shots of blended scotch, as you can see.
Ooh, that's a fancy
And these are
glass.
my quarantine plastic shot glasses.
Nice.
And I don't have a chaser, Bob, because I'm trying to be a badass.
I'm not a badass. I need a chaser. I'm a big pussy. So
Oh, that's true. Without further ado,
anyway, let's get a nice little.
hey. All
Cheers,
right.
buddy.
Cheers, my friend.
That's good whiskey. So
I'm fired up now.
I am too.
I got another one too, just for a little bit down the road, just so you know. Already ready to go.
Down the road.
Like in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Down the road.
On the road.
So if you notice my little colorful shot glass here. Actually,
Yeah, it looks like pretty hippie-ish.
it is. What is that? It's not neoprene. Silicone. It's a silicone shot glass that I picked up from Montana when I was in Montana a couple years back.
Bob was up there actually auditioning for Brokeback Mountain. He didn't get the part.
But it was great auditioning for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do I? Of
We
course I
went
do.
fishing. It was great.
Yeah. Got to hang out with Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Whatever. Just some hot nude mans.
some nude mans in some tents.
I
Going fishing.
haven't said that in a while. Good old Frank McCleskey. I gave him R.I.P. buddy. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Frank. We miss you, buddy.
All nude mans, man. I'll tell you what. I got something else before we start talking about the stiff truth. I thought it was another nice public service announcement. There's a lot of people right now, which they should be. They should be spicing it up with their significant other. And I do want to remind everybody that germs are whack, so hit it from the back. Okay.
I like it.
Yes, that way you're not coughing on each other. You got to have doggy style is definitely the COVID style of sex right now.
So I like it. Sometimes I need a mnemonic to remember things. So when it rhymes, it'll help me. And so I'll just be like, no, baby, this is safer for both of us.
Yes, and just so everybody knows, Bob, I think we've highlighted this before, but most of his instructions are in rhymes since he does wear that helmet a lot. So
That's true. That's true.
this is no
but
joke.
I have not fallen down my stairs in 2020.
So you did it like in
Mic drop.
Yeah, but December 31st, different story.
No, funny story is, so my stairs have like these old ass carpet, and it's New Mexico, so it's really dry here. So I'll be barefoot in the morning and like groggy or whatever, and sometimes I'll just catch the edge of the step, and my foot will slip, and then I'll proceed to fall down the stairs. No shit. I fell down the stairs like 10 times the first year I lived here.
Wow.
So much so that I thought it might be something supernatural going, and I even had Jess sage the house for real.
No shit.
Like I thought, like I don't know,
So
some spirit was pushing my foot off the step or something. I don't fucking know.
He's fucking with you, trying to trip you every day.
So either I'm more mindful now, I drink less, or the saging worked. One of those options.
Well, we know the second one is not the case. So
Not during COVID.
well, it's interesting that you said that, man. Ironically enough, I have stairs in my house too. And when we first moved here, I was kind of getting back in the swing of things. I stopped, as you know, I used to do a lot of exercising. I don't do as much now. But I had stopped going to the gym for a little while, just as we were like, the whole transition from moving and getting your first house and all that stuff and everything. It was took us a couple months to kind of get settled in and everything. And then as I was like, all right, good, I'm kind of back in my groove at the gym now. Totally sober as a judge, dude. I'm walking down my stairs and I'm carrying like a can of something. I don't even know. It's some kind of soft beverage too. Again, something not very stiff. And my socks get slippery on the carpet and just slide under. I fucking fall down almost all the stairs and hyperextend my fucking arm, fuck up my shoulder. Both my shoulders are fucked up from falling down my stairs, long story short. I don't understand how hard it is for me to walk down the stairs at my age. Like I haven't had years of practice. So it's very interesting to me.
So I've got a thing. Right, so I'm a big guy.
Ooh, show it to me.
and for those that don't know me personally, I'm about 6'4", 265. I'm a big guy.
And that's all in his nether regions.
That's all right. It's all from the waist down. So the stairs that I have are about maybe 9 inches, maybe 9.5, 10 at most. The steps are like 9 or 10 inches. So, I wear a size 12. So my foot is literally about a foot. So, my whole foot doesn't stand on it. So I actually have to turn sideways and like shimmy down the stairs every time I go to be safe. And now that I've fallen, like a dozen times, I hold the handrail because I'm afraid that I'll fall down.
There was one actually very interesting time, and then we could probably move on from the stairs. I'm sure people are loving this.
So these guys fall down the fucking stairs, huh? They really do drink a lot.
These guys are fucking retards and they're stupid. No, but
falls down the stairs with a fucking helmet on. I knew it.
That's hence the helmet. It's a requirement now by doctor's orders. But no, the other thing that was very interesting, it was one of my dad moments, where dad would just, I sacrificed myself for my child, which we all will do, right? At least I know you and I will, and I think the Stiffies will too. But there was an instance where I was with my daughter going down the stairs and she started to topple down the stairs. And I think this was when she was like 3.5 or something like that. And I literally falling down the stairs with her. It was almost like she was riding me like a boogie board or something like that.
Oh yeah, like you were the sled.
Yeah, like the sled, and I picked her up while she was falling, and I was sliding down the stairs on my back backwards all the way to the bottom, and she was fine. I was hurt like fuck, but at the same time, I was like, all right, that was good. I saved the kid. But yeah, hardcore stuff, man.
Oh yeah, we used to have a child/pet gate at the bottom of the stairs.
But then Bob couldn't get out of it. So.
Sorry. There's a little bit of that. No, I fell down the stairs and like hurt myself on the gate, right? And then one of my other falls, I did it again, and I just got mad and just threw the damn thing out, and that was the end of that. But no,
obviously it was its fault.
I have a hard time with stairs. Normally, I don't need fucking obstacles.
No.
Anyway, that's enough about the stairs. Let's get on to the stiff truth.
Yeah, let's do it, baby. You want to roll this out?
I want to take another shot, and then we'll roll this out.
I think that's appropriate.
I do.
And
too.
Again, I'm going to do it without a chaser. You ready, sir?
Well, cheers. Yeah, I am ready. Well, let's get this up there. It's full. I don't want to spill.
Yeah, you can't even tell Bob has a drink. He's probably just phantom drinking.
I'm faking it. You notice the...
Oh, this one's for Lucky. The Dallas Cowboys are a dumpster fire. There you go, Lucky. That one's for you, buddy.
And the saint's time is coming.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's not very threatened right now, but that's okay.
No,
We'll
Drew
see
Brees will retire at some point.
at some point. At some point, but he's still better than Dak all day long.
I know, man. I know.
I wish you guys had
Dak.
Romo back, but if you had Romo back, you wouldn't have the best sportscaster now that's out there. So it's kind of like he found his calling.
No, the world needs Romo in the booth.
They do. He's great. He's great.
Yeah. And so do the Cowboys playoff hopes. So.
There, you. Hey, Lucky.
Ba-doom.
That's a
There you
2
go,
for 1,
Lucky.
Lucky. That's
There
a
you
2
go.
for 1.
That was
Shout
for
out
you,
to
buddy.
Lucky. And we're done.
So, the stiff truth. So this conversation came up early in the week, and we started talking about it, and we're like, you know what? That sounds like a stiff truth. And so I wanted to bring it up to you guys. We wanted to talk today about the best action hero
Yeah, buddy.
in cinema.
Get to the fucking chopper.
I'm not going to include like CSI actors or something.
No,
we're talking
no.
cinema here.
We're not, and we're not even going strictly comic book superheroes or anything like that. We're talking literally, and this is what I want to preface here, is we are talking about big box office smash action movies and the stars that we grew up with and that we know now.
Sorry, Ryan Reynolds. I know that you're a great Deadpool, but your work in the Green Lantern negates you from this conversation for life.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and again, I'm not even putting Deadpool again in the same category. I'm talking about action hero, not superhero, action hero. So let's start this off, Bob. But really, I think there has to be a definition. And I think we're defining that right now, but of what we're really talking about and who can be included. So I think that's first step. And this is where you guys can disagree with us or whatever. But the first thing I'm going to say is there's the Godfathers. Okay. The Godfathers are primarily there's a couple in the 70s, but mainly the 80s. Right. And I would say from the early 80s all the way through the early 90s, you've got people.
You get that fly. Show him who's boss.
I did. I'm sorry for any Buddhist listeners out there, but I just killed a fruit fly. But okay, so just some Godfathers of this category, right? We've got Arnold Schwarzenegger, definitely in there. We've got Sylvester Stallone. We've got Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? We've got Jackie Chan. We've got
That's a good
Bruce Lee. We've got Chuck Norris. Those are the guys from the 70s, Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee that I could think of. We also got, who did Death Wish again? Do you remember?
Charles
Bronson, right? So we could throw him kind of in the mix there. That's as far as I'm going to go. But I also will include Dirty Harry. Okay, so I'll include Clint Eastwood in that category too, because I think that was a phenomenal series. But then we've also got, Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis, definitely in there. And then you can fast forward a little bit. You start getting into a little bit more of like your Jet Lis are in there. You can also maybe include a Mel Gibson in there. Not Danny Glover because he's too old for this shit, but Mel Gibson could be in the mix, especially in the movie Payback.
Put Keanu in there. Gotta put him in there.
Keanu can be in there for multiple reasons. The Matrix was not really an action star movie, but John Wick is. So, yes, he's definitely in there.
His work in John Wick is incredible for like a mid-50s man. That's like as old as my father-in-law, and he's throwing down. That's awesome.
The other thing I want to highlight about Keanu, too, is he actually gave his first acting chops as an action star all the way back in 1991 with Patrick Swayze in Point Break. Don't forget about that.
Point Break, there's Speed.
That's an action movie. Speed a couple years later, which actually I think kind of put him on the fucking map, besides Bill and Ted, and stuff like that. That's another great one. I mean, is there anybody else that I'm leaving out that's really, really impactful in the 90s? Because I think I covered the 80s.
Not the 90s, but the 2000s. The Rock.
Oh,
I think we have to add The Rock in. He's our modern Arnold.
Okay, well, then I'm also going to throw this guy in here, too. Jason Statham.
No, you have to. He's like our modern-day Bruce Willis.
But way buffer. Way buffer.
Just as bald.
Yeah. Yeah, just as bald, but way buffer. And you know what? I got to talk about that right out the gate here. Why is Bruce Willis such a fucking badass persona? And it looks like he can bench maybe like 120 pounds.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
And I'm sorry, Bruce, if that's wrong. Maybe it's 175, but yeah, I'm just saying.
I will say this: that he just oozes machismo. Right? He's a man's man. He for real is. I mean, he's walking
You're damn
through in
right.
Die Hard with broken glass in his feet, and all he wants to do is sit down and light a smoke.
What a great scene.
Fuck these commies! I need a cigarette.
And have you seen him? I think his best role, honestly, outside of John McClane, which is great. They've made what 5, 6 Die Hard movies now, and he's a badass in all of them. But do you remember The Last Boy Scout with him and Damon Wayans?
I do.
Oh my God, that character was so. If you remember the scene, he's in the strip club. Halle Berry plays Damon Wayans' girlfriend that ends up getting
That's
killed at
right.
the
I
end of
haven't
the movie.
seen that in forever.
Dude, I got that thing on fucking. We'll just call it speed dial because I love that movie, man. But
We'll talk
at the end
after
of the
the
day,
show.
yeah, well, we will. But his character in that one is even more of a badass, dude. There's a scene where Damon Williams he's confronting him in the strip club because Halle Berry hired Bruce Willis's character, right, to watch her because things are starting to get kind of crazy. She ends up getting killed that night, but kind of like, who are you, dude? What are you doing here? Kind of like trying to, puff his feathers at him. And he's like, hold on, I got to finish my drink. He's like, finish his drink. He's got to finish his smoke. He's just super fucking cool. And then fucking catches Damon Wayans' fist and fucking drives him down and throws him down to the ground like a little bitch. You're just like, first of all, how did he do that? I mean, Damon Williams, actually pretty stacked dude in his youth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Pretty
for sure.
buff dude. And he's playing a football player in this movie, a professional quarterback. So he's supposed to be in shape already. But just this burned out, alcoholic, degenerate father, husband type guy, it just handles him out of the gate. It's crazy to me how Bruce Willis, and don't get me wrong, I think he deserves it, but where he's gotten at the level of being in the same category as your people like Arnold and Sly and Van Damme, who obviously work out every fucking day for hours.
So, for one thing, Bruce Willis is a hell of an actor.
He is. He's a great actor.
He knows his craft. He captures the audience, right? When Bruce Willis comes on the scene, that's where your eyes are focused. In every movie, in every scene, that's just kind of how Bruce Willis is. So he's got that charisma that goes along with him that you definitely need to have as an action star. So he's up on near the top of the list. Honestly, I'd probably put him around at least in the top 5 for me.
I would too. I'm not bullshitting it. And like you just said, I think his acting chops over everybody else. Honestly, as an action star, maybe kind of that makes sense, right? Why he's so good and so believable as a badass. He's just really good at portraying it.
We left someone off the list.
Go ahead, Adam.
Liam fucking Neeson.
Okay, here I'm going to throw somebody else on the list. Harrison Ford.
Good one. Good one. Mm-hmm. Now, they don't crack my top 5, but they definitely deserve some honorable mentions in this. I mean, the Taken movies, and Liam Neeson is just an intimidating guy.
All the Tom Clancy movies with fucking Harrison Ford, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Patriot Games, there's all kinds of them, dude. He did like 3 or 4 of those, I think, but he's great. The Fugitive, whoa, what a fucking movie, dude.
Right.
What a fucking movie. So I now have to step back and consider that. We just left out 2 big hitters, if you ask me.
And I know we're leaving someone else out that'll blow our mind that we're forgetting, but
we honestly, for a reason, Stiffies, just so you know, we did 0 prep on this, even though Bob cheated a little bit. He watched Bloodsport, but that's okay.
I did.
But that's just a great movie, so I can't fault him at that. But we did not prep at all for this or have any type of conversation or kind of studying, research, or anything. We figured we're going to shoot from the hip on this one because we're fucking 80s kids, and this is our wheelhouse.
Yeah, plus I'm an action movie person, and I'm a cinephile, and all those things just kind of go. Plus, the less we rehearse, generally the better when it comes to delivery. So with this, we wanted the Stiffies to get it the same as we get it, and have that natural reaction.
I mean, somebody's yelling right now at their fucking iPhone or fucking their screen if they're watching the YouTube and saying, "No, this person, you fucking idiots!" And
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. So before we marinate and just like create a lot of dead air thinking about more action stars, let's start the ranking, sir. And why? So first of all, we're not going to go with our least favorite. I think that's stupid. You know what I mean? I don't really think that makes sense. I think we just we give like our top, let's say top 3 and why, and then honorable mentions and why. I mean, what do you think though? Again, we're kind
Yeah,
of
that's fair.
okay. Okay. So again, because I'm a nice guy and a gentleman, I'm going to let ladies go first. Bob, go ahead and let me know what you think you want to start with.
My favorite action. That's so powerful. That's such a powerful thing to say. Um, you know, I think I got to go with Sylvester Stallone.
Hmm. Okay.
I think I do.
Okay. Okay.
And it's just been so good for so long. All the Rambos, all the Rockies. It's you know, yeah. I think he's my guy. I think he epitomizes what an action hero is. Who's your favorite?
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Well, he's got the package right. So
Oh, he's got a package, all right.
he's he keeps himself in fine shape, even at like 70 something right now.
Sure.
He's still in pretty good shape.
And they all use steroids, so I'm not even going to bring that up, but that's fine.
No, dude, steroids is old school. They use HGH now.
Oh,
So,
hormones.
first there's the Rambos, right? I mean that as a kid growing up, when anyone did any role playing for me and my friends, it was fucking always Rambo. Always Rambo. We're always walking around with our realistic ass fucking assault rifles that are getting kids shot and things because they didn't have little cute orange tips back in the day. They just looked like these kids running around like they're Afghanistan kids, just everyone holding rifles.
I believe they're called Afghans.
Well, I didn't want to. let's not bring race into it, Scott. So
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
So then the Rockies. Even today, I watched Rocky 3 the other day with my son, and
Wait. Why did you do 3 instead of 4?
because it was coming on like FX whatever, and they were doing them all.
Okay,
and then I caught 3. And
let's just
where
go
I
ahead.
was at.
Let's go ahead and highlight that another action star, but as a villain, and we're going to do another show maybe about that kind of stuff later. But Dolph Lundgren and Sylvester Stallone in number 4, that is the pinnacle of the Rocky trilogy, or not trilogy, the Rocky series, if you ask me.
Well, it kind of had it all, right? But I don't want to digress into that. I think the Rocky series is a stiff truth all of its own.
It could be. We just kind of gave the cat's out of the bag on what I like. So.
Well, I don't think there's no hiding that I think that 4 is the best Rocky. I mean,
I don't think there's an argument otherwise.
Well, there is for some people, and I've had it.
You think the Apollo? you think Apollo? You think Hulk Hogan? You think fucking Mr. T? No, sorry.
So some like 2. 2 is really favorable among the fanatics.
Some like 1. The real fanatics like 1.
Some like 1. But so for me, the cinematography improved. The budget improved. So by the time they got to 4, it's kind of the convergence of all of those things together.
And they picked up Dolph.
And they did.
And back in the 80s, Dolph, especially during still the Cold War and them being the USSR and everything, he was like the ultimate antagonist, dude. The ultimate.
So kind of circling back.
Sorry.
So, no, it's good. So Sylvester, first of all, he had his jaw broken. So he had that I've been in some shit before, and I'm fucked up because of it.
I am the law.
Right. So when it made him believable. Like when he was playing an all war hero, that he'd gotten that in hand to hand combat at some point. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was just a natural drawn to it.
Or same thing with boxing, right? You got hit in the face, whatever, right? So
yeah, for sure. So yes, Sly's my guy.
Sly's your guy. Okay. Well, if we're gonna flip it over to me real quick here, I almost think that we have the same opinion on this, but I don't want to be repetitive here. I think Sly Stallone is. And I'm just thinking back to my childhood, Rambo: First Blood Part 1, dude. I mean, that movie, dude. Brian Dennehy trying to sweat him. At the very beginning, he's just trying to find his homeboy. He just got back from the war. I mean, that movie, the scene actually made me fall in love with the Pacific Northwest because all that's filmed in northern Washington and British Columbia. And I just think that terrain and that forest, that northwestern forest is so goddamn beautiful. But David Caruso, believe it or not, is actually about 19 or 20 in that movie. He plays one of the cops that hoses him down. It's just such a fucking good movie, dude. So, but I want to digress a little bit there. I don't want to be too repetitive. If I'm thinking outside of that and thinking my favorite action star, I almost have a draw, but I'm just going to go ahead and go at number 1 for his movies altogether. And I'm going to go ahead and say mine is Arnold, dude. And I'm going to say that with a pretty strong confidence because not only, okay, Conan was a little weak. Let's just face it. Like he could barely speak English at the time. But dude, fucking everything else after 84 was fucking dynamite till about like 96. Even Eraser was a fucking badass
Man,
movie.
even Kindergarten Cop is a good movie. Come on.
But I'm gonna take it to my couple of favorites right here though. Not only does everybody know that Arnold's fucking Mr. America, you know, the healthiest man in the world in the late 70s and pumping iron with Lou Ferrigno. Love Lou Ferrigno too, but you can't really put the Incredible Hulk in this category. But dude, Terminator 1, fantastic, dude. Fantastic, right? I mean, like raw Arnold. Terminator 2, fantastic, dude. Fucking Predator. Dude, Commando.
Oh, I love Predator.
Dude, the first Predator is probably one of the sickest fucking action movies of all time. But
it's got everyone.
Step away from that. Running Man. Watch out, dude.
Yeah,
fucking Running Man. We start getting into this genre in the late 80s and early 90s of him doing sci-fi action movies. So Running Man, phenomenal. The original Total Recall. What the fuck? One of the best movies ever. Also has Sharon Stone in that movie. Great in her prime, right? And then you start rolling into the 90s. True Lies.
It was a great movie.
Fucking A, bro. Eraser. All the way up to like 2000. What was the one where... I just can't remember the name of it, but the one it's where you could do cloning and stuff like that. That was his last big action movie before he started getting into politics. I think it was 99 or 2000. I actually watched it with Jess back like when we were just out of high school. I think we're
I remember.
Can't remember.
Okay. That's fine. We don't have to dwell on it. No, you're right there. And for me, Arnold's the number 2. Arnold's acting chops were never quite as good for me personally,
but he got way better.
He did
way better. Like he goes from the mid 80s. Let's face it, and Terminator 1, 1985 or 84, whenever it came out. He could still not speak that much English. He could speak English, but it was kind of broken English from Austria, right? But you fast forward to Predator, he's dialed in. He's dialed in, dude. And then you go to Kindergarten Cop, that era, that Total Recall. It's just like he's a dude that's an American that has an accent. Like he really, I think his accent kind of deflated a little bit and maybe like just kind of glazed over his actual acting chops. I think he's got acting chops. And now if you watch Conan, you'll probably say differently, but I think he's got acting chops. But his accent's always been hard to get over for some people. You know, when he says certain things, he still has a pretty thick accent.
It's like in True Lies, right? He's like, "Well, I'm a spy." It's like, Arnold, come on, dude. You can't act your way out of a paper bag, much like it's Russians, but you're fucking not American. And
plus, you're not exactly normal looking walking through the airport.
Right.
There's like this fucking 6'3" fucking dude that's like 350 pounds of muscle busting out of his fucking shirt. You know?
Yeah, you're definitely not incognito there. But for me, he's number 2 on my list. So it's not like, I mean, it was between Sly and Arnold for me. I mean, I think that's kind of anyone that's around our age. That's the first 2 you go to.
Well, and let me just say this, and I wanted to, if you wouldn't have said it first, I might have chosen Sly, but I'm so much on the fence about this one about who is number 1 because then I can just go back and say what I said. Like the Rambo movies have more of an impact on me more than anything, especially the first 2. Right? Those were amazing fucking movies. Rambo 3, where he fights all of Afghanistan, a little bit of a stretch. But honestly, every single one, he's fighting everybody by himself. But the Rocky movies in general, very impactful. And it was my older brother, God rest his soul, his favorite movie was Rocky 1. So that kind of takes me all the way back to the nostalgia there and like having that in my face as a small child. But then also, dude, like The Specialist. What a great fucking movie with him and James Woods, right? Oh, my God. Or Assassins with him and Antonio Banderas in 95. Great fucking movie, bro. And then how he kept pumping out believable Rocky movies up until like the mid 2000s, right?
Dude, he just came out with one a few years ago.
Right, but finally he's not the fighter. You know what I mean? Like in these last couple of ones.
Right.
Apollo and Apollo 2, he finally said, "Okay, I'm a little too old." But that Rocky, that Balboa movie, I think that came out like 2008, 2007, something like that. That was still very believable. He was already in his like mid 60s.
Well, it's because we've actually seen it, right? I mean, we saw George Foreman come back in his 40s and get the heavyweight title again.
But hold on, I'm not done. Judge Dredd.
Oh, fantastic.
Great movie, fucking movie, dude. Great
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. I was just going to say, and that's another person on the other flip side. He rarely plays a good guy, but Wesley Snipes opposite of him as the antagonist. Great fucking.
Which
movie.
is another action star we probably didn't list. He doesn't have the huge body of work, but the Blaze movies are fantastic.
They were good, but I don't give somebody one movie thing as being an action hero star that we're going to talk about. So you're right, but no.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to say this though. Strong number 3 for me. Unless you wanted to go. I don't mean to overstep.
I forgot an up-and-coming one that we probably need to mention that just keeps getting better and more involved lately, modern, and that's Idris Elba. Mm-hmm. More and more. He was just in the new Hobbs and Shaw as the villain, but played a fantastic villain, right? There's been talk about him going to Bond, which if he ends up being James Bond would really open James Bond up into a lot more action possibilities.
Also, I hope he's doing okay. I actually heard he was positive for COVID-19.
Last I heard, he was doing fine.
Yeah, same thing with Tom Hanks and his wife. So anyways, back to what we were talking about. I'm also going to follow up here with a strong, because let's just face it, I think we have opposite number 1 and 2s, but really close together. I think it's almost hard to.
They're really close.
I mean, and anybody that thought this might be a surprise that Sly Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger are the top action stars, go fuck yourself. No,
yeah, for real.
But at the end of the day, somebody for me, and again, it might just be his body of work and the nostalgia feeling, but I am a very, very big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan.
Agreed.
Very big, very big. Not only are we talking blood sport, kickboxer, Double Impact, if you remember that one. Also in I think Time Cop, probably one of his best in '95
that was a
too.
Great movie.
He did the double tap one, almost like Double Impact, with the double tap with Rodman in '97. I don't know if I even saw that one, but there's the Double Impact. Remember, differently from 1901, is where he has a twin, and
that's what I was thinking of, the twin one.
Yeah. That's the one where he plays himself, and it's almost like a Nutty Professor action movie, right? So, meaning, you know how Eddie Murphy plays everybody, or fucking Martin Lawrence, or Tyler Perry. We have this way before all those, and it's
plus, I mean, other than Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee, Jean-Claude's really the other true martial artist like master that did acting. Right.
And let's face it, the guy has bigger legs in my fucking head.
Right, like Mike Tyson legs.
Yeah, he's got tree trunk legs, and they're no joke. I will tell you guys this, even though he's an actor, there's a story of this. I heard it on Howard Stern a long time ago where like his bodyguard, they hate each other apparently. And his bodyguard knocked Van Damme out one time at a dinner when Van Damme was getting pretty snippy. Apparently he's kind of an asshole, which he's French. Doesn't really surprise me. Or wait, is it French? I don't want to be an asshole.
He is French. Yep.
Okay. Sorry, but he's the asshole. But this guy talking about it on Howard Stern, this was 10, 20 years ago. I can't remember how long ago it was. But he's like, you know what? He's like talking about like, so how'd you take Van Damme out? Seems like pretty dangerous guy. He's like, well, I knew I couldn't let him get up because if he got up and used his legs, I was done. So he immediately just like sucker punched him, but just like knocked him out while he was still sitting in his chair. And gave him like just a straight, like, you know, just a right hook and just knocked him out. But he highlighted, he's like, I would not let him stand up. If I let him stand up, then the tables turn kind of on the, you know, on who has the position here. So I thought that was pretty interesting, even though as an actor, he's like still people that knew him very well. And that was bodies. It was like, don't let this guy fucking kick you.
Yeah, no, don't let most people kick you, by the way.
Don't let anybody hurt you. I mean, to be honestly, there's hotlines for that kind of shit.
Well, it's also the same thing for kind of the ground and pound guys. You see it in MMA all the time, right? Because you see the boxer and the strikers against the judo guys and the grapplers, and you know that when a striker goes against a grappler, like they're both, one's trying to keep you on your feet and the other's trying to get you to the ground to take away that advantage. And it's the same thing. So yeah, I can understand that, but yeah, I wouldn't want to go toe to toe with him now. Have you seen him lately? Dude looks fantastic still.
Yeah, he looks great. His face looks like a fucking catcher's mitt, but that's okay. He's also in his 60s, I think early 60s. But he's very much in shape. I don't know if you saw that commercial he did for was it Volvo? I think he did a commercial for Volvo a few years back.
It's a Super Bowl commercial, right?
Well, they're driving down the fucking interstate, and they have Van Damme standing on the cars, and they start spreading the cars out, and he does a full split, which he's like iconic for doing, right? And he's just fucking sitting there, full splits, like fucking with these two cars driving down the highway. It was pretty tight, pretty fucking tight. Yeah, the guy's still a badass, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't really go starting shit with him on purpose.
No, 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 no.
I mean, other than that, we have some honorable mentions. I'm with you on that, by the way. So as far as I know, like when I was growing up in the late '80s, early '90s, when we would play fight, it was always someone's Van Damme. All right, that's just kind of it was the standard. He was one of the most impressive action fighting people that we had seen because Bruce Willis was already dead. Bruce Lee was already dead.
We forgot somebody pretty standout.
Who's that? Lots of dead air here, buddy.
I know. I'm just thinking. I can't believe we forgot about Steven Seagal. No, there was a run. There was a run, and it was the '80s too. Under
Steven
siege,
Seagal was never my
above
guy.
the law. Yeah, but he's also, when we're talking about martial artists, he's actually is a martial artist, and he's a badass, and he's always been in badass movies where he kicks everybody's ass.
Well, and in,
so
and in real life,
I think that's an action star. Yeah,
in real life, he was a pretty accomplished martial artist. Right?
I'm just saying because Under Siege with him and Busey and Tommy Lee Jones, probably one of the best movies of the early '90s.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, he had a run. He was never like my guy, but he's an honorable mention for me. He's top 3.
He wasn't my guy. No, I'm not saying he's a top guy. I would say he's an honorable mention.
But we did forget about him, though. You're right, and he needs to be included.
Thank you. Now, all the stiffies out there can know that I did not forget good old.
Because someone was red in the face.
Oh, dude! So somebody's like, "Wait, Under Siege 2, where they take over the fucking train? That's the best movie ever."
Right. Yeah. No, you're right, and I'm sure there's still going to be a couple of people that we forgot. I'm sure, but
yeah. Well, who's your honorable mention again? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
So I'm going to say that my honorable mention is Keanu.
Okay.
I'm going to take it away from the 80s and 90s, even the 2000s, because I mean, so here's the thing: and the Matrix movies were fun. And the Matrix movies were sci-fi, and he did have some action, and a lot of cinematography tricks and Hollywood tricks going on there. But he did learn a lot of actual martial arts because he wanted that authentic look. Because we've seen enough interviews with the Keanu to know that he's a different cat, right? And he likes to make things real, and he really gets down with the characters. And you see that evolution coming into John Wick when those action scenes in John Wick movies are fucking incredible. That dude brings it for those movies. So just with that series alone, with the Matrix movies, I could throw him there. But like we mentioned before, he's done a lot of other movies kind of leading up to this. But, dude, John Wick is like the American version of a Jackie Chan movie.
It really is. It really is. And I agree with you 100% there. I think of we'll call him the new age wave of action stars. He's proven himself not but once, but twice. And I think that's what you need. You know what I mean? You need to have a couple of different scenarios. It can't be all Matrix. It can't be all John Wick. He's done it multiple movies. He even did it in Constantine. You know what I mean? So that was a great action movie. Probably, and the guy, I don't know who the guy is. You have to forgive me. The guy who played the devil in that movie was one of the best performances I've seen of anybody portraying the devil. Rivals Mr. Al Pacino and the Devil's Advocate. But
I thought you were going to say Tim Curry. Yeah.
Well, we can say that too in Legend. We can say that too. We can say that too. But we already know this could maybe be another stiff truth. I agree with you a lot there. Now I'm going to say my honorable mention here is I'm going to give it to 2 people. Okay, and I'm not going Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee. For some reason, what they did is phenomenal in the sense that, let's just face it, Bruce Lee is the master, and then Jackie Chan did all of his own stunts, dude. Like, every stunt is his. He's one of the only guys that does that, and they're crazy fucking stunts, so you really got to give it to Jackie Chan for that. But I'm going to give it to my bald brothers here, okay? I'm going to go with my old school guy. I'm going to throw Bruce Willis in there as my honorable mention. Everything he's done, like we talked about, he's the smoothest, most badass motherfucker in every movie that he plays in. And let's say that's the best typecasting you can have, right? They're like, hey, dude, we need somebody that's going to be the ultimate badass, smooth motherfucker that doesn't take any shit. Bruce, you got anything going on? Okay, cool. Come on down. But flip the coin, going back a little bit new school here, I'm going to go ahead and say Jason Statham, dude. Not only is that guy fucking stacked, but he is a fucking real martial artist as well, and he showcases that hardcore in The Crank and the Transporter fucking series, dudes.
I'm just going to say this. Did you see Jason Statham kick the fucking top off that bottle?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
So there's the bottle challenge, right? And there's just people trying to like kick the top off of like a Coke bottle. And dude does like this roundhouse kick and opens a fucking water bottle. It's insane. It's on YouTube.
And see, and I used to do martial arts when I was younger and everything. I knew right out of the gate watching that guy. I was like, okay, unlike Keanu, where it's a learn thing, like just for the movies, I think, which he really did a great job at. This dude already came in out of the gate like a Wesley Snipes, like a Van Damme. Like he had already martial arts mastery under his belt before he started acting. And then you throw in that fucking little British accent, the crazy bald look too. He also looks very mean. And that just gives him a little bit more of edge. Yeah, I'm really a Jason Statham fan. Even back to Snatch, where he doesn't play really a badass, but he's another great actor too, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I'd probably put Jackie Chan on my honorable mention. Bruce Lee, not so much, just because he didn't get a chance to give us that body of work.
No, unfortunately, he got killed by the Chinese government. I'm just going out there.
But Jackie Chan did, and still does. Like that dude, he's insane.
Well, if you're going to talk about that, I gotta throw Jet Li into the mix too, though, dude.
That's true. Again, with the body of work, but the shit that he did was fantastic.
Yeah, he's done a few, I want to say like a handful of movies where he showcases that he can be the littlest badass on the fucking set. You know what I mean? He's not a very big guy, but he's just super fast, super just dialed in with, he's a martial artist. He's a master martial artist, dude.
So, I'm going to say that we posted on Facebook, since our stiffies don't proactively engage into conversations on YouTube. Let's just do it for them.
Actually, thank you, Morgan, for commenting after you listen to every episode.
Pretty much, yes.
Even if you delete them.
We appreciate your comments, and I will have you know that you have a shirt coming towards you.
Yeah, you do.
So
yeah, you do.
Look forward to that.
Look at us, lots of shout outs to individual stiffies on this show. I'm loving it.
Hey, we pay attention. We engage our audience, and I don't care what YouTube analytics say.
Yeah, it's fucking fake news anyways.
They work for CNN. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I think we're good today. What do you think? Is there anything that you'd like to add today?
No, man. I think I really had a lot of fun with the Stiff Truth today, man. But no, I don't have anything to add. The one thing I do want to highlight, guys, is, again, if you don't know, we actually do this show live in video format on YouTube. So come and check us out. If you like what you see, or if you already like us, make sure you get in there and subscribe, share that with your friends, and let's spread it around. Spread it around. Yeah, Bob's not pointing at his genitals. He's pointing at below what's going to be, I think, the website, the YouTube link? What are we doing?
It's a subscribe button that I'm gonna put there, but it will be there. Yeah, so again, like us and subscribe. It really helps out. We have a lot of people that we reach out to, but it's not really matching the subscription. So if you guys could do us all a solid, keep subscribing, keep commenting, keep engaging with us. We will do our best to always reach out and always keep you involved with us. We always have time for you, and we appreciate your time. And we appreciate you listening. You want to take us out of here, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Again, thanks so much. This has been a really fun one, and I hope you guys enjoy your Easter weekend with you and your loved ones, guys. We're going to be back again next week with another exciting episode of The Stiff Truth and another very stiff talk tale.
And we have a very special announcement coming next week.
Yes, we do.
Something new that we're adding for the Stiffies, for the program, for the experience of being a stiffy and what the Stiff Truth is all about. So look forward
perks
coming up next week, and we'll let you know what that is.
Yes, more perks, and that is your teaser to come and enjoy visiting us with us again. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, have a good one. Love you all. We'll see you next time.
See ya.